All right, so you know, I will share my screen first. Okay, so this is the screen. Let's start with the exam. All right, this is the exam, and these are the questions. First question is, when you need to count items, you need to use a variable of type double, integer, character, or float. Actually, in counting, we discussed and we said usually you need to use integers, because when you count things 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't have 1.5, 1.4, etc. When you need to calculate your marks average, you need to use a variable of type double, right? I removed the float because it may get you confused whether to use double or float. Both are correct, so I used only double, or integer, character, or boolean. So you use double. What's the only function all C++ programs must contain? Of course, function. I'm talking about functions, not a statement. It's main. The main functions all C++ programs should contain. Which of the following is a correct command? This one. All right. We explained this several times. So slash star and end with star slash. Which of the following is not correct operator to compare two variables? Equal. We don't use equal. We do use equal, two equals, right? When you compare two variables, you use double equal, not one equal. The rest are possible to be used. All right. The output of the following code is, now I have here a code, include IOStream, using namespace, integer main, etc. Hi, cout hi, backslash n, right? So what will happen here? The first backslash will show that the next backslash is a backslash, not a control. Okay, so to remove its access. So the output will be hi backslash n there. So this is quite common to be used. Backslash means the next character is not a control backslash, it's a character backslash. All right, which of the following is correct? Instruction to print slash, not backslash. I'm talking here about slash. So cout slash, that's it. All right. The output of the following code segment is integer x is equal to 8, cout plus x. Now, I'll increase the variable x before execution. Why? Because plus here comes before the execution of the print. If it's after, then it will execute the code, then print it. So here it increment or increase x by 1 and then print the value of x. So the result is 9, 9. The output of the following code segment is x equals 3, y equals 2, z equal x plus x over y. Note that here all of them are integers. So x divided by y, 3 divided by y by 2 is equal to 1 because it's an integer, right? Plus x 3 plus 3. So here that means 3 plus 3 divided by 2 equals 3 plus 1, which is equal to 4, right? It's not 4.5. All right. The output of the following code segment is, again here, integer x equal 3.47, y, etc. X mod 7, y. Remember the mod operation, I taught you how to calculate it. In one of the lectures, I said divide it and take the remaining, using the calculator or whatever, and take the numbers or the the digits after the point, I multiply it by 7. So the result will be 2. The next question, almost everybody has answered this one correctly. Write the code. See, I didn't ask you to write programs, all right? Using the one cout instruction to print the following message. Hi, I'm using C++. So it's correct. You put backslash C plus backslash quotation and backslash quotation here. Perform or capital or, it means the or bitwise or between 5 and 2. This is what I want you to write. Actually, what made me sort of frustrated when I saw that, I hope this stop recording, but this will be recorded. All right, I'm responsible that most of your answers are similar. That means they came from one source. That's why there will be the question in the final will be totally different. So please follow exactly what I'm teaching you, what I'm instructing you to do, and rely on yourself in the final exam. There will be no possibility to share ideas. All right. So this is the answer. Next one, the instruction that checks if the variable is less than or equal the variable y. This is what I want you to write only. So if you write anything more, just because, I'm sorry to say that, because you shared the idea with your friends, I deducted some marks. The assignment operator that is equivalent to x equal x times y. X asterisk equal y. This is the answer. That's it. No programs, nothing at all. Next, write a program that reads a number and check if the number is divisible by 8. Now this is, I want you to write a program, right? Clear. I asked you to write a program, so include IOStream using namespace, integer main, integer x, enter a number, cin x, if x mod 8 equals 0, cout, yes, that's it. I don't want else or any other things. This exactly what I wanted. All right. Next, write a program that prints the following sequence. You need to find a relationship. Start from 342, I equal 342, I greater than or equal 20, and I, of course, 20, because if you put it 42, then it will be excluded. I divided by 2, all right? Even 42 is all right. I didn't reduce any marks, all right? Here, 21, yes, just because 21 I have here. So that it should be 20, because 21 means it will be excluded if I put it greater than or equal 21. So this is all about the questions and the answers. I think the exam was not difficult, and I hope you'll do better in the final exam. I don't know if anybody sent a message. Let me just see. Yes, I have messages here. الرابط. All right. Very well. So let's get back to our discussion. Now, last thing we discussed was it's very important, by the way, the arrays and pointers. Okay. And we explained a lot of things about arrays and pointers. I will go and just explain it again very fast, just to summarize the previous lecture, so we can proceed with the arrays. So we say the arrays is simply has a name, type, and index. All right, so what I have here, let me just change the color. Okay, I have array name type. I'll start with type, then name of index. Simple. So here what I'll do, if I want to declare an array, okay, then 1 second, let me just make sure tab is working perfectly. All right. Don't know why I have this vibration in the typing. All right. So here, if I want to declare an integer array, the name is A, for example. Of course, you can use any name, but it's a convention or tradition to use capital letters of 3 equals. Here I can declare or define the values like 1, 2, 3. All right. And we said that means A of 0 equals 1, A of 1 equals 2, and A of 2 equals 3. This is an example. So if I ask you to print the second here, print the second element. In this case, you have to come and count 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, and the index is 0, 1, 2. So the second means the index 1. Okay, so you have to write C out A of 1. All right. Now, one more thing we discussed that I can't change the values of A. Although here I declare that A equal 1, 2, 3, but I can't change the values. I can't say A of 2 equals 4, for example. Or I can use it like any regular variable. Here, if I say A of 2 equals 4 and I print the array, then in this case, it will replace A of 2, this with 4. So remove 3. And also we said, usually the array is represented in the memory like this. If I declare integer, integer is 4 byte, all right? That means the program will book or reserve 4 bytes for every index. So this is A of 0. Okay, here I have another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A of 1. And this is A of 2, and so on. All right. So this is the main idea of arrays. And the advantage that I don't need to declare a lot of variables, like the example that we took when I told you to read 3 numbers or to define 3 numbers and find the sum, the average of the 3 numbers. It was easy. I told you up to 3 is all right. But more than 3, it's impossible or not possible, not recommended to use different variables. I don't want to keep declaring here, for example, integer A, B, C, D, etc., and then write A plus B plus C plus D. If it's more than 3, then for sure, as a programmer, you should think of the arrays. So also, we learned something which is very important. I can use the counters in the array in arrays. How's that? For example, write a program that reads 5. I'll make them integers now. Integers. Okay. Now, I don't need to write or to do like C out, enter A of 0. Then I will write C in A of 0. Again, C out, enter A of 1. And I continue. What if I have 100? Will I do the same? Of course, this is not possible. All right. So in this case, there's an easier way to use counter for integer I equals 0 from the first index. I less than how many variable here? We have 5. Less than 5. I plus plus. All right. Inside, I can write C out, enter an integer or a. But we will change the way of printing later. All right, and cn a of I. So now since I will take the values from 0 to 5, 2, not through 5, to 5, that means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means every time the program will ask you to enter and it will save it here. But here, if I execute it, I will get error. Why? Because here I'm using the array without declaration. So before that, I have to declare the array integer a of 5 elements. All right, now it will work properly. After reading it, whenever I want to use it, I can just go and use the same counter. I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. For example, here, C out A of I, \n. All right, that's it. Now I can use it whenever I want. If I want to find the sum of the variables, if I want to do anything, I can use it because I already defined it. Okay, let's implement this example. Although we've implemented it, but we will write it and we will explain it. It's here also. Write program that does the following. Define an array that contains 6 integers. See, now from the question you have to identify the answer. Here I have said define an array that contains. I didn't use any word like read or takes or asks the user to enter or enters. All right, all these words means you have to use cn. Okay, like if I say define an array that reads 6 integers. Reads means you have to use cn. All right. Takes. Define an array that takes 6 integers. All right. You have to use this. Or define an array that asks the user to enter 6 integers. You have to use cn. But here nothing of these words have been used. Right? So I'll define directly. Print the first element of the array that we solved the last lecture. All right, so here integer a of 6 equal uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. The indices is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the indices or indexes. All right. But the count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I ask you the first element, you will consider the first element is number 1, but the index is 0. So you will print C out the first element A of 0. Okay. The fourth element 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you want. This is the fourth element, but the index is 3. All right. The last element, I know it's 6. All right. This is the last element, but the index is 5. All right. Now, another way here, print the entire array using for loop. Okay. Again, what I'll do, for integer I equals 0, I less than 6, I plus plus. This is, by the way, this is very commonly used, and I want you to remember that here is 0, and here is the size of the array, and it should be less than, not less than or equal. And I plus plus, of course, I'm going to move one by one. All right, so here what I'll do, for integer I equals 0, I less than 6, I plus plus, then C out A. Why I've made it like this? You can print the values when you use A of I. If I takes 0, then it will print 1, then 2, 3, 4. It will be printed like this. 5 and 6. But as sort, it's not that it's important for me, but as marks and answer, I will not pay much attention to this one. I prefer to print it like this: a of 0 equals, and a of 1 equals 2, a of 2 equals 3, and so on. All right. So what I print, this is constant. A of will be printed for all. Then I will take 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. Then this is also a string. And A of I will be the value that it contains. That's why when I execute it, it will be executed like this. All right. Now let's see what we have here. Yeah, this is the answer also. The same answer, by the way, with the execution. This is what we got. See, this is the way we printed it. A of 0 equal 1, A of 2, etc. Okay. Write a program that defines an array with 6 elements and find the sum of the elements. Although we solved this, I will do it again. We will create, or we will let's define another one, another question. All right. I think we covered most of the material, but it's okay. Just all right. So here also define. All right. There's no read, no gets, no takes, etc. All right. So in the main function, array of 6, AR of 6 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the elements. If I get, remember that if you get statements like reads, takes, gets, okay, asks the user to enter, that means I have to read them. We'll take the example about this. Now here is the sum. I want to find the sum of the element. The sum is equal to A of 1, A of 0, plus A of 1, plus A of 2, plus etc. Now, if you can see here, is a counting process, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I can use, and I have to use. Actually, I have to use because it's not feasible to do it like this. So I'll define, remember that, I'll define the sum before the loop. This should be before the loop. And it should equal 0. Why equal 0? Because I'm going to use it to add things. So 0 will add nothing to the value of the sum of the arrays. If it's multiplication, then I will make it equals to 1. All right. So for integer I equals 0, I less than or equal 5. Okay. Or of course, you can use less than 6 instead. I plus plus. Sum plus equal array of I. So first, I will take 0. Not I mean the value of I will be 0. So sum equal, let me just delete this. To track the program or the code, we need some space and blank space. All right, so here we are. Here I have the value of I, the value of S, and A of I. Or you know, A of I and the value of S. So initially, the value of I was 0, was before starting. Okay, S equals 0. This is before the loop. All right, S is equal to 0. Then now I takes 1. That means I'm talking about A of 0, right? Which is equal to what? To 1. Okay, this is here. Now A of 1, sorry, AR here. So AR is the same thing. AR, here AR. Okay, AR of 0. Now here's 0. That means the value is 1. I'll add 1 to the sum, which was 1, which was 0. So the value became or becomes 1. Now the first, or not the first, the value of I is 1. It means the second iteration. That means I'm talking about AR of 1, which is equal to 2 in this case. And here, sum, the old sum is equal sum plus AR of I. That means it will become 3. Then in the third iteration, AR of 2 equals 3, and 3 plus 3 equals 6. Third, AR of 3 equals 4. That means 10. All right. 4 AR of 4 equals 5. Okay, 15. And finally, 5 AR of 5 equals 6. 6 plus 15, 21. So the result will be 21. Okay. If I have a longer array, it's all right. You just change the, if you have, for example, array that contains 20 elements, then all what I do here is to change this to be less than 20. Okay. So the sum and print the sum. Write a program that defines an array with 6 elements and print the element in reverse order. What does that mean? Reverse order. It means if I have the array this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I want to print it like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Of course, I'm not talking about the values of the elements. I'm talking about the indices. So if the indices were 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I want to print, this is the original. Okay, I want to print them like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. You can, by the way, use reverse counters to start from the high number from 5 to 0, or you can use this tiny trick here, 5 minus I. All right, the last one minus I. So both are correct. In this case, if you don't want to use this method, you can create or can use another for loop, which is for integer I equals 5, I less than or equals 0, I minus minus. Okay. Again, here I write it. If you don't want to use this, you can use for integer I equals 5, I less than or equals 0, I minus minus. That means I will take the values 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. All right. So problem solved. Okay. And this is what we did last lecture. Good that we did it. Okay. Write a program that defines 2 arrays A and B with 5 elements in each one. Define a third array which contains the sum of the corresponding element. Of course, you cannot use like C equals A plus B. This is not correct. What we can do is C of 0 equals A of 0 plus B of 0. C of 1 equals A of 1 plus B of 1. And C of 2 equals A of 2 plus B of 2, and so on. So if you can see here, I have here a counter, which is the same counter here, and it's the same one here. So I can define a counter for integer I equals 0, I less than what? Here I have 5 elements, okay, less than 5, and I plus plus. And here also I write C of I equals A of I plus B of I, okay? But also you have to declare C of I as equal here equals 0, but it's all right. So here integer A of 5 equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, integer B of 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever the values are. Integer C of 6 for integer I equals 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, C of I equal A of I plus B of I. If I want to print it, see here, if I want, the loop is finished here. All right, if I want to print it, I have to create another loop here for integer I 0 to 5, I plus plus, and C out, just to print the code. All right. All right. So here also it is an important thing. We don't have here, if you remember when we talked before, I'll go back to our discussion. Here, when we were talking about passing array to a function, okay, we said I have to pass the array and the number of elements or the size of the array, right? This is only in C++. In Python, this was solved. We don't have issue. So you have two options, either to pass the array with the number or to convert it to a pointer, and this is what we'll talk about later, to a pointer and send it. So for example here, integer my array of 14. If you want to pass it to a function, then you have to pass the function, the array and the number of elements. Now this is a very common issue that some programmers need to know, which is number of elements, right? To find the number of elements of an array. Maybe you will say, all right, I usually declare the array like A of 6, so I know it has 6 elements. Or I say in double A of 7. I know it has 7 elements, but actually sometimes the program itself generates arrays. So you don't know the number of elements. Like in this case, integer A, if you can see here, it's empty, right? A, when I leave it empty, it takes the number from the element. So if I put, for example, 2 and 3, that means I mean to put here 2. So if I write another example, double B of empty equals 1.1, 2, 0, and 3.1. It will count this 1, 2, 3, 4, then it will replace the blank with 4. But in programming, we write it like this. So here, how to find the size of the array? Actually, the only way to do this, I hope we have, let's have a blank space. Okay, here we are. What to do? How to find the size of the array? If I have, for example, integer A blank equals 1, 2, 3, then how to find the size? Actually, let's think of the memory. The memory contains these integers, right? That means we said every integer is represented by 4 bytes. So this is the first one, A of 0, all right? This is the second one, A of 1, and this is the third one, A of 2, okay? So To find the size of the array, I wanted to print 3. I want to get 3 here. But actually, if I take the size of A, okay, I will get 12 here. Why? Because it gives me the size in bytes. It will find that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this is what I got. So to get the number that I want, which is 3, I'll divide it by the size of the type of the array, which is integer, okay? Which is divided by 4, and I'll get 3, and this is exactly what I'm searching for. Okay? So let's go back to our code. Here, integer a equal 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. Okay. To find the length of the array, then size of a divided by size of a of 0. Why I didn't use integer? Because I don't want to make it special for integers. Size of a of 0 here is 4, right? Size of a of 0 is 4. Size of the array is 12. That means I divide 12 by 4, I'll get 3, which is, in this case, the number of elements. But in our example, it's 5, right? Because I have here, this is a of 0, takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. A of 1 takes another 4, and a of 2, a of 3, a of 4, and a of 5. So if I a of 4 here, the maximum. So actually, I want to count how many elements that I have. A of 0 here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that means 5 elements. Okay, and here the size is 4. Then the total size is 20 divided by 4, which is the size of a of 0. That's why I get 5. You may say, why a of 0? Why not a of 1 or a of 2? Because no array is without a of 0. Even if the size is 1, then it has a of 0. But some arrays do not have a of 1 or a of 2. So this is the way how to find the size of the array. Okay? All right, let's see this question. Write a program that define and print an array of size 2.3. This is, we are talking about 2-dimensional. I will stop here. Let's discuss 1-dimensional array. Then this is 2-dimensional arrays. Okay, or multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, so I'll stop here. Let's see. Now take another example and to share it with you. Okay. All right. So let's work together on some examples that we can discuss the principles that we learned till now. All right. Okay, so the first example that I'm going to discuss with you, I write it above here. No. Write a program that reads. See, now I'm talking about reads the values of 5 real numbers. Of course, when I say real numbers or the values in questions or in exam, you may get that reads the marks of 5 students. that reads the balance of 5 customers. So it's the same thing. All right, and average of these numbers. Find average of these numbers. All right. So first of all, I'm here talking about an array that contains 5 real numbers. That means either double or float. To avoid any confusion, use double. Okay. The array name with n of how many members, how many elements we have. We have 5. Here, if you can see, we use the word reads. Reads means I should have for loop and input cin. Okay, so for integer I equals 0, I less than 5, here C out an element. Of course, here I have to put the update I plus plus. Okay, enter an element. You know, it's better if we give indication to the user that what element that we want to enter. So I'll put here I, right? And also here I will put colon, and that's it. This is just some kind of arrangement. Cn n of I. Okay, that's it. Now it's done. I'll read it. Now what's the other part? The average of these numbers. Before this, let's print it. Okay. Okay, let's execute it without printing, just to make sure that everything is all right. All right. So run. No. Windows. All right. So this is what I got. You can see. Enter element 0. I'll enter 1. 1, 4. So I read the array. Now the second part is to find the average. The average is exactly as the sum, but after this we need to divide it by the number of elements. So here I will define double s equals 0. Okay, we did this before. 4, I will just copy the same. Okay, and here sum equal s plus n of I. Intentionally, I wrote it like this. Of course, you can change it now. You'll make it s equal n of I. Okay. All right. Now I have only one instruction here, right? So I can remove the parentheses here, the braces. All right. That's it. Done. Now after I finish, I will calculate the average double AV equals S divided by what? By 5, because I have 5 elements. And see out the average is AV. All right, that's it. Okay, I will enter the values like first 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. All right, so the result is the average is 2.8. Okay, so the program works perfectly. I'll share it with you now. I'll share the code with you. Please try to implement it, and we'll continue next lecture with a two-dimensional array. The code. I'm done. If you have any questions, anything, otherwise, I'm all done. Do you have a question?